Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Common Good Podcast. Doug Badgett here, outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and squirreled away somewhere outside of Fayetteville, Arkansas, Rob Ryerson. That's old school start, right? That's an old school.
There you go. Yeah.
An old school. And how's the weather, Rob? It's cloudy and I don't know, mid weather today. You know, like
Doug, yesterday, February 9th, it was 80 degrees here in Arkansas.
And last week, the kids were home for school because of snow.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So today is a little windy and overcast. Temperature's dropping a little bit. I think it'll be in the mid 50s. But, you know, could be worse.
Yeah.
Could be below zero.
You could be living in an ice storm as we are here.
Yeah.
Not so much from the sky. In fact, the ice is melting on the ground over the last couple of days. But ice continues to dominate and make horrible life for America and life for Minnesotans. And hey, good to see Jim telling us what's happening in his part of the country. We'd love to hear too. You know, a chilly morning at 7:30 in the morning out there in Santa Barbara. Start of 57. Yeah. I mean, Jim, I love it that in San Diego area in Santa Barbara, you can just give us, you know, you can just copy and paste the forecast into your comments, and we'll take them every time. Be the same thing.
Dougie, did you enjoy the Super Bowl this year?
No, I didn't enjoy the Super Bowl. I did watch it though. I didn't see opening kickoff, but I felt the.
Listen, can I just go on the record loudly, in a loud and clear voice? Donald Trump is right about the kickoff rule in the NFL.
Oh,
it's got to go. It's terrible. Make football great again. Bring back the old kickoff. Donald Trump is absolutely correct.
Because you want grown elite athletes running at each other from 30 yards out and colliding? Is that the rule? Is the rule that they've moved it up and you can't move until the person touches the ball, so there's less collision? Is that the
yes?
Do I have the rule right? Okay.
Yes.
And you want grown athletes that go in some ways beyond imagination to be colliding with one another? Okay. Okay.
Did you enjoy the game though? It was as far as a football game goes, it was pretty boring.
But well, it's football. But let me back up to this question. How do you know Donald Trump's opinion about football kickoff rules?
Because he tweets it. He Truth Socials it.
Of all the things,
the president of the United States has nothing better to do than to post on Truth Social about his opinion. And this has been a consistently held opinion of his. He has not been wishy-washy on this. Okay. Anytime he comments on the NFL in any way, he throws in and changed the kickoff rule back.
Wow!
And I couldn't agree more.
Well, I guess I guess of all the nonsense that the man
coming out as pro concussion today on the podcast.
Yeah, pro CTE, is that the official term? I think it's time to move beyond the kickoff rule. I think it's time. Are we still talking about the kickoff rule? I mean, people stopped talking about the kickoff rule a long time ago. I don't know what. With all the other things we could be talking about, this is a man, Donald Trump, who doesn't want us to talk about the pedophile ring that he's a part of.
Right.
We should move on and start dealing with the important things, like he told Caitlin Collins. Let's talk about something important, like the NFL particular rules during kickoffs. Yeah. I just think that everybody should start on the 20 and not even have special teams.
Wow.
Here's what I think. I think the punt should just be replaced by a 40-yard advance from wherever you are. That's what you get. You just move the ball 40.
No.
Yeah, no. You throw up a little white flag that says you're not going to try anymore. You're not going to try harder. And the other team just gets the ball 40 feet away. And that's it. And that's it. How many injuries?
There is nothing better than a punt. I mean, it's one of the most exciting plays in the NFL when a punt gets dropped inside the 1 yard line.
I saw it. I saw that. I literally saw, well, not
It
inside the
actually
one,
happened
but
during the
inside the
Super Bowl.
3. Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we used to have a phrase, it took a Vikings bounce, because we were rooting for the Vikings. So any bounce that would sort of, favor the Vikings.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I thought everybody called it a Vikings bounce. I didn't know. It was just because it was
No,
my
I
team.
used to root for kicks to take a Browns bounce.
A Browns bounce.
Browns bounce.
Well, I don't know what that would be, because it can't be a Vikings bounce. Well, Jim makes a good point that you think Donald Trump wants that because he knows that people with head injuries are more likely to support Donald Trump. So he's just trying to pick up NFL player votes by having them collide and then go full Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, look, I watched it. I'm not pro NFL.
Right.
I'm not even pro Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I am anti Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
I think people being anti Bad Bunny, I'm against people being anti Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
So I am all for Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Listen,
so
Doug,
shall we walk the walk of shame as middle-aged men and talk about the halftime performance?
Here's what I want to talk about with the halftime show. So the stage that Bad Bunny performed on, the NFL limited the number of carts that could be used to bring the stage and everything onto the field to 25 carts.
Okay.
They had to figure out, if we're limited to 25 carts and we've got to bring out, all the heavy equipment and all of that stuff, how are we going to be able to get the sugarcane fields set up? And the solution they came up with,
genius,
was to put people in sugarcane outfits. Brilliant.
I mean,
that way they could literally just run out there and get into position.
I mean, when I saw, Shelley was like, are those people inside of those plants?
Fantastic.
It was like, that. And then I thought they would dance. Maybe they were dancing, but I didn't see them in the obnoxious video cuts. But had they been dancing as sugarcane, that would have softened my heart.
Purely to the only
just a delivery system.
It was the logistics of getting that onto the field.
Gorgeous.
Doug, what would you have given to be a sugarcane?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh, you wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to be a sugarcane in the halftime show.
I barely wanted to watch the halftime show.
Yeah, but
no,
listen, Doug, if we got a phone
I'm the
call
wrong guy. I see there are many people in life who would have given a lot.
If we had gotten an invitation to be sugarcane in the Super Bowl, we would have been there.
The one thing I used to think about football that was positive, or sports in general, is sort of taking this sociological, anthropological view that says that sports replace other rivalries in society. We can take our animus, we can take our teams, we can take our tribalism, we can dislodge it from our own life and our own politics and our own religions, and we can attach it onto sports. So it becomes this placeholder for our places where we can have our people versus your people, and our people are better than your people, and our people will win over your people, and it would be way better if those people were wearing cosplay outfits and pretending that this mattered. Sports, using beautiful athleticism and great competition.
The pageantry of battle.
The pageantry of battle. Did you just come up with that, or is that someone's material?
Yeah. No, I just.
Wow, that's good. That's good. See, friends, this is why you listen to this podcast. My goodness.
Yeah.
It's no longer the case, because all we have now done is just transferred right on to sport. All of the same, so now we just.
It's not. It's no longer an escape. It's no longer a
substitute.
Placeholder. Substitute. Yeah, it has become sucked into the culture war that we're a part of.
So literally, people watching the Super Bowl when there was a time for the athletes to sit down and rest and figure out what they're going to do next, halftime, you were broken into three big groups for your watching pleasures.
Yeah.
Puppy Bowl.
Oh.
Over on Animal Planet.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl halftime show, for its 13 or 15 minutes. Or America Fest, brought to you by the Christian subcult with Kid Rock, country singers praising Jesus and chanting Trump.
Did you watch it?
No, I just saw a few clips, so I cannot say I bathed myself fully in it. Speaking of the apparently the nonprofit group Turning Point USA, that's not political, separated from their political arm. This is their 501c3 side.
Oh.
That brought in someone to advocate Christian values, and they picked Kid Rock, who then chanted to the group to chant the name Trump. And I don't think it was Tiffany they were chanting for.
Oh, I went to YouTube and I watched it, and then I regretted doing that because I'm now scared of what the algorithm is going to give me on my YouTube page. I should have logged out.
Yes. Or logged in as Brandon Pfeiffer.
Oh, yes, that's what I should have done. Logged in as Brandon Pfeiffer and then watched it. Doug, I had to go back and check the Kid Rock performance a couple of times. Because the words being sung and his delivery was not synced up at all.
They weren't even trying to make it look like he was singing the song?
No, I mean, he had a microphone and was singing, but it was nowhere close to being correct. And it made me wonder, is something wrong with the feed? Apparently Kid Rock was lip syncing, and
yeah,
it was really, really bad.
Yeah. But don't they lip sync at the Bad Bunny halftime show and the other ones too?
I wonder that. I mean, you would assume in a stadium like that, I don't know. I have no idea. I do know when I saw Bruce Springsteen in concert, he did not lip sync.
No. When you saw me sing, I wasn't lip syncing. Yeah, some of us don't.
You like that dead air.
Some of us.
I don't comment on your singing.
No, as you shouldn't.
You passively aggressively use that against me in text. I'm like
with strangers, with people,
and I'm just catching strays from you.
Yeah, with people who have no idea what's even being said. Yeah, real sideways. The fact that the Super Bowl has a halftime show. And that people complain about the halftime show has in the last 30 years become an American pastime.
Yeah.
Name a halftime show that for days people didn't complain about. Oh, it's this thing is geared for a bunch of old white men. Oh, this thing is too sexualized. Oh, this thing is I don't know who these people are. Oh, these are a bunch of has-been hip hoppers. Oh, these people don't sing like. Has anybody been universally happy? I mean, you'll probably say when U2 played, but has anybody been universally happy with a halftime show since the Minnesota marching band did it in the 1980 something Super Bowl in Minneapolis? I don't think so.
Well, I was going to go with the very first halftime show. Do you know who performed at the very first halftime show?
Well, I just remember the Minnesota marching band when the Super Bowl was here in Minneapolis, but maybe they changed the Super Bowl halftime show after that.
The very first Super Bowl halftime show performance from Carol Channing.
Who?
Exactly. Carol Channing, you don't remember her? She was like she was a regular on the game show circuit. Remember,
Oh,
like there were all those like D celebrities from the
sure.
70s and 80s that were
Yeah.
on the
Well, okay.
Listen.
Look,
Bad Bunny's performance, obviously I don't
great.
speak Spanish, so it was great. It was really interesting.
I don't understand most of the lyrics at most concerts I go to if I don't know the songs. I mean, what are people? Are you kidding me? Have you done music in America? That's not the point. The lyrics.
I watched the the All American Kid Rock show. And I didn't understand the lyrics.
No.
Like the woman singing the country songs. I'm like, I don't understand what she's saying. Yeah. But who cares?
Yes.
It was positive, optimistic, colorful, engaging, enheartening. A celebration of people, a celebration of culture, a celebration of a particular place in the world, and
celebration of people's crotches. Apparently, a lot of hands on the crotch. Still, that
yeah.
move has not gone away. I don't understand it. I don't care for it. Don't get it. But hey,
yeah,
I'm all for the crotch.
You're pro crotch. I'm pro concussion. You're pro crotch.
I don't know.
This is like, I feel bad for Lauren, who's going to have to cut this up and
don't get that dance
social
move.
Media clips out of it. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. And we sat there and Vanessa watched primarily for the halftime show. Whimsy watched, and then it was funny. We had the experience of like Whimsy knew who Lady Gaga was, had no idea who Ricky Martin was. So that was
Ricky Martin in it?
Did you watch it, Doug?
I did.
Yeah.
But look, okay, I will also say I loved it. I thought it was great. I loved the theatrics. I loved all of it. It also felt a little bit like a hallucinogenic dream.
Yeah, but it was better
the
than
camera angles and the morphing and the jumping around. I was like, okay, this feels like I don't know what's happening right now. So trying to connect who those people were, and honestly, my knowledge of Ricky Martin, there was one point where I was like, is that Lady Gaga? And I was all gaga about that because I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan.
You're a big fan.
And I didn't know Lady Gaga was going to be in there. Was that not announced? Was she a surprise guest?
Surprise guest.
Oh, see, I just
and the real
everything
wedding,
that person does, I love it. She's just
the real wedding. Did you have a favorite commercial?
The wedding, didn't get the wedding. Didn't understand why. Now there was a wedding, but
it was wonderful.
Heterosexual weddings being promoted at the halftime. That seems like something all the kids over at the America Fest would have liked to have seen.
Yeah, but it was
apparently they wanted Kid Rock, who talks about sex with underage girls, to be their artist.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you see why?
Family and culture. It was wonderful.
It was,
and it was a real wedding.
What did Ricky Martin do?
He sang.
But what part? What was he?
There was a, like Lady Gaga, there was a
cameo of somebody
where there was another singer.
Oh yeah, I saw that guy. That was Ricky Martin.
That's Ricky Martin.
Oh,
yeah. Do you have a favorite commercial?
Well, yeah. I didn't watch many of them.
Yeah.
The "Won't You Be My Neighbor" one by Lady Gaga, because I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. I mean, I saw the making of that film. They released a YouTube video or something about that Tim Gilman, thank you Tim, sent to me, and that is wonderful. And so, yeah, that one.
Yeah. I was a big fan of the Dunkin' commercial with with Goodwill Dunkin', which was, with all of the 80s and 90s sitcom stars.
Really?
Apparently AI de-aged and,
Yes.
You didn't see it? Did you see it?
I saw it, and I thought that is the single worst commercial I have ever seen.
I thought it was funny.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Wow. Okay, well, see, I thought, boy, whoever spent the $6 million on that at Dunkin's advertising, they're not going to get fired. No, people
It's
loved it.
almost
Oh,
as
that's good to
if
hear.
people can have different preferences of the commercials they like, the music they
Music
like,
they like. Yeah,
and it's okay.
and it's
And it's
gonna
okay.
be okay.
Game was
Amazing.
kind of boring, though. I was rooting for the Seahawks, but game was kind of boring.
Yeah, okay.
And
I
and
think
I'll
I
tell you
think
this,
people who have a
it's a
lot
really
more
good thing.
expectation of a football game probably felt it was boring. I have watched so many football games in my life because I'm old. I don't watch them now, the last few years, but I've watched so many football games. You know what that felt like to me? An NFL football game. Like most of the time, NFL football games are it didn't work, something just happened.
Oh, yeah.
And as somebody who used to root for the Vikings and watch the Vikings not go to the Super Bowl when the best field goal kicker in the league at the time missed a field goal from 26 yards, my anxiety level went up every time that guy got around the stood in back of a field goal attempt, and I thought, oh, there's still a lot of pressure on a field goal because he could hook that thing. And and I told you that I sat in a hot tub with that guy, the Minnesota Vikings missed a thing after him.
Yeah,
I've never seen a man look so dejected in my life from that distance. All right, are we done with that nonsense? Bunny was good. Bad Bunny was good. It was great. Look, when he held the football up and it just said, we're together. We make America, and he's talking about Americas, all the Americas. It was beautiful. It was just great. And then love drives out hate or whatever was on the back screen. It was just wonderful. Hey, you know who else watched it? I don't know if you saw this.
Trump.
Yeah, all the people at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago didn't go into the Rumble app and roll over to watch the event that J.D. Vance was sent to. Donald Trump, in his event, said, we're watching Bad Bunny. You know why? Because that fringy little freak group called Turning Point USA, I'm not watching them. Even that guy.
Doug, you watching the Olympics?
I watched it last night.
Olympics?
Figure skating and women's snowboard rail and jump acrobatics, whichever was on last night on prime time.
Yeah. Is the highlight of the Olympics so far, is it the U.S. bobsled team falling out of the bobsled?
I didn't know that. That happened. Oh, they fell out.
Glorious. Yeah. I've never seen it.
Aren't those made that you can't fall out?
Well, 3 of the 4 guys never actually made it in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
On the launch where they jump in. 3 of the 4 missed, and it's glorious. It's glorious.
See, why do you hate America, you liberals? This is what I don't get. Why do you're rooting against America? You're finding joy.
and listen, I'm also
when America fails.
I had a hard time rooting for the mixed curling team. The U.S. team. There's something about them. They annoyed me.
No.
Yeah. Had a hard time.
All right. Good Bunny. Let's talk
bad president.
Let's talk bad president. Again, the failures of this administration, friends. Yeah. The fact that we take a casual break in the psyche of this country every year to have one singular event called the Super Bowl that we can gather together our collective hearts and then argue about is sometimes a kind release from the fact that we have a president who continues an onslaught on the American people and the justice system in America. That's just, and I truly believe, I listened to Tom Holman. You know who that is? You guys know who I'm talking about with Tom Holman? He's now in charge of the ICE occupation in Minneapolis.
He's been border czar.
Border czar. He was given some big old medal by Obama back in the Obama administration. The guy's been around for a very long time. I find him to be displeasing to listen to.
A person who apparently took $50,000 from an undercover FBI agent.
Yeah, an FBI sting operation was put in place to see if he was a criminal, and he took the money, and then charges were dropped when Trump came in and saved him. Like a pre-pardon, like the way that Trump pardoned all the criminals on January
Doug, I know
6th, and also I think 1,000 other pardons or something. Maybe the 1,600 pardons includes all the January 6th people. But the pardon office has been the most busy place inside of this administration. Much busier than the make the economy better department.
Oh, 100%. I missed the chance to have a perfect transition here. So I'm going to,
go back.
Oh yeah, we're gonna rewind here.
Okay.
Doug, here we go. Here's the perfect transition. Doug, we've been talking about sports. We've been talking about, the impact of sports on our culture, and now we want to talk about Donald Trump a little bit. Let me, as a bridge between these two topics, read you a post from True Social this morning. Maybe late last night, from Donald Trump. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
As everyone knows, the country of Canada has treated the United States very unfairly for decades. Now, things are turning around for the USA, and fast. But imagine, Canada is building a massive bridge between Ontario and Michigan. They own both the Canada and the United States side, and of course built it with virtually no U.S. content. President Barack Hussein Obama stupidly gave them a waiver so that they could get around the Buy American Act and not use any American products, including our steel. Now the Canadian government expects me, as the President of the United States, to permit them to just take advantage of America. What does the United States of America get? Absolutely nothing. Ontario won't even put U.S. spirits, beverages, and other alcoholic products on their shelves. They are absolutely prohibited from doing so. And now, on top of everything else, Prime Minister Carney wants to make a deal with China, which will eat Canada alive. We'll just get the leftovers. I don't think so. The first thing China will do is terminate all ice hockey being played in Canada and permanently eliminate the Stanley Cup.
It's just remarkable brain buzz out of the man.
Dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating our pets. China's going to terminate hockey.
America's closest trading partner and ally feels it needs to strike another primary partnership globally because of Donald Trump's tariffs and attacks on Canada. And this guy starts whining about the fact that Canada has put tariffs and blockades on U.S. products in response. And then when he says they're going to run into the arms of China, one of the U.S. great competitors and perhaps adversaries, the thing he notes about the problem there is sports.
They're going to get rid of ice hockey in the Stanley Cup. What?
There are two teams in Canada that are part of the National Hockey League.
I think there's maybe 3, yeah.
And the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, why are you so weak? Why are you so weak that Canada does what it wants? Why are you so weak that China can cancel the American and Canada National Hockey League? Why are you so impotent that you have to go onto Truth Social and complain about something that a president did 12 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so small and incapable of leading America that what you do is complain about the power that other leaders have to make things hard on you? Unbelievably weak.
Yeah.
No wonder you come out with all the
Why do you have
machismo.
Obama derangement syndrome?
Why does that guy just continue to haunt you where you can't do anything because of what he did in 2009, 10, 11, 12? It is 2026.
Yeah.
And you are complaining that you can't win because Obama. Unbelievable. You know what you should do because you're so incapable? Quit your job.
Time out. There are 7 NHL teams in Canada?
Edward, how many teams are there in the NHL? By the way, this breaking news from the listeners and viewers of the live stream. Thank you, Edward, for that. How many? Yeah, but just humming "The Lion Sleeps Tonight." How many teams are there in the NHL? I would like to know, because that's pretty impressive. I mean, what does baseball have? 3? What does the NBA have? 2? What does the NFL have? What does 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are there other major
7,
sports?
So
What does women's
32 teams.
32. Wow, that's a lot of teams.
Yeah. So we have
Does anybody watch hockey?
Montreal Canadiens.
Okay.
The Ottawa Senators, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I know that place.
It's 3. The Winnipeg Jets.
Okay. The Benny and the Jets.
Vancouver Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
The Edmonton Oilers. The Calgary Flames.
Wow. That's the whole country. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Impressive. Thank you, Edward, for that. Okay. 7 out of 32. Less than a fifth. You still have a Stanley Cup. But Donald Trump can't make it happen.
Okay, you're going to talk about Tom Holman.
Donald Trump is a little baby boy that's so sad and yells and tells the people it's not fair. You know what I like? I like a president who gets things done. I like a president who leads. I like a president who's strong. Not one who yells at reporters and complains about Obama. I mean, it's so sad. Look, I get it. If you wanted to complain about Joe Biden, you could say 15 months ago, he could say, American people, back when you bought the bottle of ketchup in your refrigerator, Joe Biden was the president and it's taken me a while to fix the problem. Sure. Okay. You could get away with that. Late Biden years. Final days of January, a year ago, he did something. Obama? Real quick, you're now the president and have been for over a year. Before that, Joe Biden was the president. Before that, you were the president. And only before that was it Barack Obama. But Iran, what he did in Iran, what he did in Paris, what Obama did with a deal about American steel, we can't win. This guy, I mean, honestly, even if you support him, isn't it sorry and sad to see a man who just can't get over it? That is so trapped up in Obama's extraordinary powers that he can't shake it. Okay, Holman. Appointed by Donald Trump to come into Minnesota to clean it up. He's moved out 700 of the just over 3,000 ICE agents that they unleashed on our state. If we had said the Trump administration sent 2,300 masked federal agents to drive around in crappy old rental cars and gather up American citizens and people in the country legally at a rate of 86% of the people they've captured, taken into custody, do not have any criminal history at all.
Yeah.
A civil violation, perhaps, but not a criminal violation.
Yep.
Because a crime is different than you've overstayed your visa or you came in the country without authorization. 86% of the people they've gathered up, by their own estimates, people who didn't commit a crime, more than 50% are people who have the right to be in the country. We would have said that's terrible.
Yeah.
So when people think, oh, I think they've negotiated a deal, Holman came into Minnesota and said, you know what we need? We need better cooperation out of, get a load of this, Rob, get a load of this. Here's what they want before they're going to pull out the rest of the ICE agents out of Minnesota. Cooperation between the Department of Correction and local jails, that if a person on an immigration status has committed a crime and is paying for that crime in jail, that the jails and the Department of Correction and the prisons will work with ICE to turn over that immigrant who's committed a crime to ICE after their term has been served. That's what they want, so they can deport the person. Real quickly here, not so that they can hunt them down on the street because they're roaming our streets. They want them out of the jails.
Why is Trump's ICE agents so ineffective that they have to rely on local law enforcement to do the job that they claim to do?
Because the only way they know someone's committed a crime, which they say all the time, the worst of the worst, the criminals, they have not talked about Venezuelan gang members in Minnesota. They're not going after street gangs in Minnesota. They're saying there's rapists and child abusers and murderers. And you know how they say they know that? Because they've been arrested for the crime, they say. And you say, well, then they're being dealt with. And then ICE says, we want them out. And do you know what the Department of Justice, what the Department of Corrections and the sheriffs, the people who operate the county jails have said? We have always worked with ICE and turned over every one of those people to ICE. The thing that ICE is demanding has been going on the entire time. When someone hits the streets, it's because ICE didn't come to pick them up. And the Department of Corrections in Minnesota has released a website to prove the point because they say that the Department of Homeland Security is lying about it. Yeah. So the thing that Holman says they demand, they already have. The numbers that they're releasing on how many criminals are in Minnesota jails and prisons is 4 times as many as any other records have. And the Department of Corrections, lawyers, and the press are doing everything they can to count up every possible person that ICE could be referring to in Minnesota jails and prisons. They can't get anywhere near the number of 1,300 that ICE says are in Minnesota custody. And ICE will not say where they get their number that there's 1,300. They're like, there's less than 300. And we know where they all are, and they will all be turned over to ICE as a matter of process and agreement. This is why friends, this is not about getting out the worst of the worst. This is about moving out immigrants. Because when Donald Trump says that immigrants are polluting the bloodstream of America, he is not talking about criminals and the worst of the worst. He's saying we have too many immigrants. When he says, Minnesota, help is on the way because we know about, hold it for me, Rob, Obama let in all the people from Somalia and we're going to get them out. We don't want them out. They are Minnesotans. They are us. And he thought he could basically pull off a race war and an ethnic war in Minnesota. And it didn't work. And it's not going to work anywhere in the country. It makes no sense. And this whole thing has to come to an end because it is an absolute waste of money, a boondoggle, and it is immoral beyond belief. And if you want to argue that they should follow the laws That would be great. Follow the laws. Follow the constitutional demands. To have a police-like force that doesn't follow the law, saying they're coming in to enforce the law that is already being followed in the state of Minnesota, and it is ICE that is violating the laws, not only makes no sense, it's not going to be tolerated as an argument. And that's why, Rob, Trump is losing support of his key supporters everywhere in the country. Republicans literally thought they had a chance to make some moves in Minnesota politically, maybe for the governor, maybe go after one of the senators, maybe to go after two of the senators, maybe to go after some congressional seats. How do you think that's going to go? 9 months from now? How do you think that's going to go on November 6th? You think Minnesotans are going to be, let's give the Republicans more control?
Right.
That's not going to work anywhere in the country. The collapse is unbelievable. And the number of Trumpies who are waking up now and being like, they are just rolling over the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 15th Amendment. Now, it's not all of them. Nope. Out of the 74 million people that chose to vote for Donald Trump on Election Day, it's not going to be all of them. And when someone tells me, but my brother-in-law, I'm like, yeah, okay. Somebody else's brother-in-law, though, they're done.
A couple of things. So you referenced the statistic of 14% of people who've been arrested by ICE don't have a violent criminal record. Is a news report from CBS News that I would really encourage people to check out. It is fascinating information. And one of the other statistics that they come up with is that, so much of the justification, there were a couple of things that Donald Trump used throughout the course of his campaign to really demonize immigrants. One was Haitians eating our pets in Ohio, and the other was gangs in Aurora, Colorado. And there was this real panic set in that Venezuelan gangs were taking over the United States of America. So you would think, okay, if we're going to have this increased ICE activity and these gangs pose this huge threat, that's going to be a focus of the surge of ICE activity.
Yes.
Doug, of the people arrested by ICE, those with no gang affiliation, 98%. 98%.
And that's everywhere in the country. That number in Minnesota, it's going to be lower than that. Not a lot of Venezuelan gangs. Come on over sometime, folks, and let's go meet the Venezuelan gangs.
It's just, Now, when you mentioned, people, people kind of quitting on Donald Trump, the quiet quitting that you've talked about. We continue to see what we have seen all along. And that is that there is not going to be a major moment that decimates Donald Trump's support.
Right.
We keep hoping for one, dreaming of one, wanting one, but we should have known from when he came down the golden escalator and talked about rapists coming over the border, when the Access Hollywood tapes came out, we should have known. But what has happened is that there has been event after event after event that has slowly chipped away at his support. And I'll tell you, what's happened in Minneapolis is one of those things. Donald Trump posting a AI generated video depicting Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as apes.
Yep.
Another one of those moments that chipping away. And there's a person who is comments pretty frequently on my campaign posts on social media. He has been a commenter here in this podcast quite often. He posted last week. This is what he said: at the very least, it was absolutely stupid. While Trump didn't create it, it made it to his posting and is inexcusable. He should make a public apology, and anyone on his staff that had anything to do with this should be fired. As much as I agree with most of his policies, especially in contrast to the other side, I'm looking forward to his exit from politics. That's Don.
I'm looking forward to his exit from politics.
Yeah.
I saw a post the other day that said apparently Donald Trump has said that he wants to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Did you see this?
No.
Apparently he did. And the guy said, "Sounds good to me. How about Friday?" Okay, that's funny. He just, but Don just wants his exit from politics.
That was just a joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah, nobody's saying killing anybody. No, it's just he's just saying, like, I don't know.
A couple of non-violent guys, one who's pro concussion, the other who's not.
Yeah, who believes that life doesn't end at the last breath. So Rob, I've been I'm a big fan of metaphors.
Yeah,
I think or analogies. Been thinking about what change looks like for people on big issues in their life. I mean, little changes we make all the time. You pick a different coffee flavor, or you scramble your eggs rather than you fry them, or you swap your car, or you go for the Android instead of the iPhone, or whatever you do. Little things that,
it's crazy talk.
Fact-based or impulse-based or just preference-based. But there's other changes people go through that are big. I think a way to think about changes like that for people are people riding on a train or a subway. And they're heading somewhere and they decide, I don't want to be on this train anymore. I don't want to be on the subway anymore. But when am I going to get off? And they start looking at the routes. Don is saying, Jane, get me off this crazy thing. Jetsons reference there for you. And he's like, when we get to the end of this, that's when I'm off, is when he's done. End of term. The way Don put it, I think a lot of people feel that. But other people start making decisions they want off the subway. They want off that train. But they're not just going to pry the doors open while the thing's humming along. So they're going to wait for a stop to get off. Not feeling well. I don't like it. I don't want to keep going where I'm going. I've changed my mind. I want to get off the train. They're not going to do it at every single moment. So they wait for a stop. These moments, ICE, Trump posting a disgusting video clip that has the Obamas with their faces put on gorillas. His belief that the NFL should change their football rules of kickoffs. Those function.
Bridge too far, like Ontario to Michigan.
Those function as a stop.
Yeah.
That here I can get off. Sometimes we call it a permission structure that grants people the chance to change their mind. This is the moment where people are like, okay, I can get off here. This seems like that's a breaking point that allows me to get off. So as you say, people aren't going, every stop is not going to empty the trains. But to any person, they're like, okay, there it is. There's my moment. That's when I'm getting off. So this is why keeping up. This is why sharing with people what's going on, because the way our minds change is that over time, we make a decision, a cognitive sense, a personal claim. I'm not for this anymore. But when that goes into effect is not always the same moment as someone realizes this has really gone off the rails. So I'm mixing my metaphors now. I'm going to get off at the next stop. And these things come up. And Don's illustration there that you shared, Don's comments rather, is illustrative of this. Don didn't decide that video and Donald Trump's doubling down on it was finally the breaking point. It was finally the stop that allowed him to get off. This is how it works. And I'm not saying there's something special about Trump supporters. I'm just saying I think this is how it works for all of us. This is how we change. This is how we make, whether the change is to stop something we don't like or to start something we do like. This is kind of how it goes. You wait for that opportunity to come where you're then going to make that change, because people's lives are going along and it's a big deal for a lot of people to change on these things. And that's why we don't have to beat up on Donald Trump, but giving people access to the information that we know has been motivating for us lets people start to get their bag ready, start to gather up their stuff, so that when the next stop comes, and there will be another stop. For some, it was Epstein. For some,
before the end of the day.
That's right. Yeah, this is not the speed train with limited stops.
That's right.
This is the local train that's stopping every 6 hours of news cycle. This thing is
we got to stop basically every block of the line.
And I live in a place where we have light rail, not subways. I very, very rarely ride the light rail, so I am more using an occasional experience of being on a subway train. And I know a lot of America, in fact, most Americans have never been on a subway. Hey, big shocker to people that live in the parts of the country where there is one. Most people haven't ever been on one, but I think we get the metaphor. Sometimes a metaphor of something we've never experienced is actually a better metaphor. And then Yabbit says, Rice goes, hey, Yabbit's put up, there's two comments here I think we should talk about, Rob. One is Yabbit's put up something about some Minnesotan congressional leaders who are really supportive of Trump, and one of them is a guy named Tom Emmer. And Tom has found himself inside the vision of the work of Vote Common Good, and we're going to be helping that man look for a new job. Yep. And give him a really good farewell party on Election Day. Yeah. And the other question was, how is it going in the Rob Ryerson campaign for office now that it looks like many people are considering voting for non-Republicans in this next election, and perhaps you will benefit from that. Yeah. So comments on either of those two things?
Yeah, totally with you on Emmer. I think it's going to be, it's going to be fun to see some significant turnover in the House of Representatives. On
a side note, before you get to that, I saw some posts that something like 30 Republicans are announcing that they're not running for re-election.
Yeah,
that tells you something, that these are people that have been in Congress long enough. They're like, okay, this job is one thing when we're in the majority. it's a different job when you're not in the majority, and I don't want the job when we're not in the majority, and I don't think we're going to be in the majority. That's how you get like 20, 30, 40, 50 members of a political party saying,
I'm done.
I'm going to spend more time with my family.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. My campaign's going well. It's been we're in an interesting moment right now. It's been a little bit tricky for a couple of reasons. One is simply the calendar, and we have an early primary here in Arkansas, with it coming on March 3rd, and there are primary races around the state, for our governor's race, for our Senate race. And so, there's a lot of folks that are, real focused on those races. I don't have a primary opponent. So much of the kind of political oxygen is being sucked up by the competitive, the actual races that are being contested. Not sure how competitive they are, but they are being contested. The other thing is my opponent, Congressman Steve Womack, his wife passed away rather unexpectedly about 3 weeks ago. And she had contracted cancer and passed away very quickly. And so we've just been really sensitive to that. Here's my opponent is, he's a human being who is a longtime husband who's grieving the loss of his wife. And, now is not the time to, throw political haymakers at him. So it's been, that's been a complicating thing. And, I had the chance to talk with the congressman this last week. We were both at an event, and had the chance to express my condolences to him personally and let him know he's been in my prayers. And it's a difficult thing.
Was he kind to you? Was he generous to you? Was he receptive? Did he look at you?
We talked for about 10 minutes.
Wow. It's a long time.
There's parts of this story I'm not sure I want to tell on the podcast. I might.
Okay. Well, that's what we want to hear.
Right.
Hey, I'll stop the podcast. So what happened?
Yeah.
I'm not stopping the
He
podcast.
did show me a couple of pictures. He pulled out his phone and showed me a couple of pictures of him in the Oval Office with Donald Trump.
You said, "I'm sorry for this deep, heartfelt loss," and he said, "Thank you. Can I show you the time I was?"
No, it didn't quite go like that.
Okay.
We had a very nice conversation, a very human connection.
Okay.
And it was totally appropriate. He had the opportunity.
Did you say to him, "I think Donald Trump has been accused of being a rapist and a pedophile"? Did that sentence ever?
No,
come up?
Well, no.
No, it tends not to. Yeah.
Doug, I think I had sent you the video of Donald Trump offering condolences to Steve Womack in the Oval Office at a signing, and Donald Trump, asks, "Hey, is Congressman Womack here?" And he steps forward, and Trump says, "Oh, you had a rough week," or he's just so bad at the comforter-in-chief role of the presidency. He says, "Oh, you've had a rough week. Oh, this guy, lost his wife. Great woman." And then he says, "Had a good marriage. A good marriage is better than a bad marriage, especially makes a time like this even harder." Doug, you've you've done in your work as a pastor, you've done a lot of comforting of people. As they've been through hard times, loss of a loved one.
Mhm.
You ever said to them, "Hey, I'm glad you had a good relationship with that person, because if you had a bad relationship..."
Woo. Got out of that one. Didn't see that exit plan coming, did you?
Yeah.
It's
He's
just
just so terrible. So the congressman, through the course of our conversation, he showed me some pictures from this
yeah. Okay, good for him. Good. I'm glad that's where his mind goes. Do you think there's any chance he's not going to run for re-election, or is the primary date too rushed for that not to be an option?
Arkansas law is that he could drop out, but his name would still appear on the ballot, and he could not be replaced
At this point. Yeah. Okay.
But he's running billboards. He doesn't have a primary opponent.
So he could run for re-election and then resign. I mean,
totally.
Just so people know, this is something that people sometimes have to manage, right? Because they have, it's a job too, and there's some work responsibilities, and there's like a way you would leave your job if you possibly could, rather than you have to. And so it's very possible he runs for re-election, and if for some reason they involve the Italians and the Chinese in some sort of a laser scheme, he wins the election, then he could resign, and not because he doesn't want the job anymore. But he's not going to have that problem because you're going to win that seat.
Yeah, we're going to retire him. Yeah, 16 years is long enough.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if he's got to spend the next couple of years, inside
not as the chairman of the Appropriations Committee.
Right. Hey, Anna Galladay, another low common good candidate and faith leader, is running for Congress in Tennessee.
Yes.
And so there's a whole bunch. In fact, Rob, I've got an idea about that remind me, and before we hang up, after we cut this off, I want to run that by you, and then we'll share it with people if we think it's worthy of the hearers gathering. Hey, people want to know what
Anna is. Somebody who could join me and Justin Douglas in the Progressive Pastors with Tattoos
running for Congress
caucus. We're gonna, when we get to DC, it's actually going to be an official caucus.
I think there's more. I think there's more than that. I know some of the other people running, and if they win as well as we expect, some people have tattoos in places that they aren't as self-evident as some people's.
Oh,
like I'm snooping around at people's tattoos. I've just seen them. I mean, because they're not, they're. Anyway, this is saying something very different than what I was intending to say about this. But there's more there's more people than that. If people are wondering what's happening action-wise in Minnesota, if you want to come here, we invite you. If you want to come stand on a street, hold a sign. There's still people out. People at the Whipple building, people at the memorials, people on street corners, people on bridges. If you've wondered, should I go to Minneapolis and raise my voice along with the other people there, you are welcome to, and we would be glad to have you. I was interviewing some people at the Whipple building, and a guy dressed in a corn outfit, like stalk of corn, was there. He flew in from California, and
why the corn?
He stumbled onto the outfit, and he said, "I get it. It's a little corny." And I was like, "Man, I love a guy like that." I mean, he got a mask on and an outfit.
Frankly, I mean, we should be checking right now to see if there's sugarcane outfits on eBay.
Oh, yeah,
Super Bowl halftime show worn, and we need to be out there in our sugarcane outfits.
Yeah, it could be a Minnesota thing. I think they were pushing sugar pretty hard, trying to crush the sugar production in other countries a few years ago when the Republicans were trying to give a bunch of money to tip the weights. All right, so why not dress up as a sugarcane? Thank you for that, Alex. You and Rob are in right minds. All right. Somebody's saying Christy Burke in Tennessee won. That's another race. I don't know if he's saying it's a progressive faith leader with tattoos caucus, potential caucus member. All right. Okay, we got it. Have we gone through all the chats? Have we gone through all the topics? We're at an hour 5, which feels
good. We're short.
Yeah,
feel short.
Yeah, feels short. Feels like a brief. We don't go an hour and 45 minutes. Thanks y'all for listening. Follow the Rob Ryerson campaign at robforcongress.com. Right? Or Rob for You. Is it Rob for You or is it Rob for Congress? Is it Rob?
It's Rob for Congress.
Rob for AK. Rob for sometimes people confuse Arkansas's abbreviation with Alaska's abbreviation, which, you can see happening. Minnesota, Montana, Michigan also suffers under that same Maine, which is the MN, which is the MA, which is the MI, which is the MO. Is that Missouri? Is that Montana? What is Montana's MT? Montana, MT. So anyway, sometimes Arkansas and Alaska become conflated in people's minds. All right. Anything more?
No.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for being part of the podcast. Thanks for following all the videos. By the way, Rob, the last 10 days, 2 weeks, I've become like some roving reporter on Instagram and Facebook. And
you're the man on the street in Minneapolis.
Some influencer. And
I've had people from around the country reach out to me saying, hey, I've seen Doug's videos.
I know. Glad it's helpful. We'll keep doing it. It's not a role that is not a role the Instagram-y Facebook person is not the role I want. That is so this season will end when ICE leaves. And take a little break next week because I'm going on vacation with our two of our grandkids, the 2 oldest boys, and Shelly and I are taking them together on an adventure. So that's gonna be pretty great. All right, so thanks to all of you who do that. And if you want to watch any of those videos, I put a lot of them in the Vote Common Good stream and a lot of them in my own stream, and because there's just too many. It's just so much going on. You can just buzz around Minnesota. You can just come here to Minneapolis and just drive around. Just run into things that people will be like, well, I'm glad I saw that. Partly because this is a very cool city and really great stuff that goes on, and an unbelievable level of creativity of people here, both in good times and in hard. So, it's a target-rich environment for a guy with an iPhone.
And Doug, 2 years ago today, I was in Minneapolis with you and my friend Aaron to see a band reassemble.
PFR. Did you see one of the videos? I'm sure you watch all of them. Did you see the one where Joel Hansen came up behind me right at the end of the video and was like, "Hey, Joel." That was fun. I thought I left it in there as a little Easter egg for you because I know if I send you a video longer than 15 seconds, you're not going to watch it. And that one was like almost 2 minutes, so I knew there was no chance of sending that in a text, but maybe you would stumble onto it. So then, the guy that we love seeing up on a stage, we also love seeing out on the streets.
Absolutely.
All right.